That's where my heart goes out at this stage of my life. It's about helping to make sure that another child isn't forgotten, because I fell through the cracks. I mean, I was probably the worst student in Hawaii when I finally settled in one place. And here I am. I keep saying that's the joke. And here I am running a literacy program, but it's about helping someone else not experience what you experienced, right? Same thing with leadership coaching, not having mentorship. I remember walking on UH campus. I took the 5.5-year track because I kept thinking, well, if I learn more information, I might have some direction, and it's not having somebody be able to say, hey, consider this, or point me this way, or take enough time to care about the fact that I felt aimless. And I never want somebody to feel like they have to go through life alone without any kind of help.
Welcome back to Hawaii Real, everybody. I'm your host, Ioke Ehu, and I want to send a shout out to Hawaiian Springs Water, our beverage host for this episode. You can purchase Hawaiian Springs Water direct on Amazon, have it shipped to your house. The link is in the description below. And this episode is brought to you by the Native Hawaiian Chamber of Commerce. Go check them out, nativehawaiianchamberofcommerce.org. The Native Hawaiian Chamber of Commerce's mission is to malama Native Hawaiians in business and commerce through leadership, relationships, and connections to economic resources and opportunities. The Chamber's programs and events are designed to facilitate connection and promote business growth, professional and economic development, and sustainability. The Chamber's membership is open to individuals, nonprofit organizations, and businesses of all sizes. To learn more about the Chamber and how you can join, visit the website, www.nativehawaiianchamberofcommerce.org. Now, my guest today, this amazing lady, Leila Fujinaka.
Hello.
Hi, she's a leadership coach. She's the owner of Leading with Mastery, and you can find her at leadingwithmastery.com. And she's the executive director of nonprofit Impact Change Hawaii. And what that is a preschool literacy program. You guys are
one of our programs.
One of your programs, but I like that aspect of it because I think that's so imperative and important, especially here in Hawaii, to have young kids start reading and get learning to read and everything like that.
Absolutely. It's so vital and critical. Definitely.
And you can be found, I found you on LinkedIn, and you're also on Facebook.
Facebook, and I have a website.
And the website, again, leadingwithmastery.com. Do you have any other websites?
No, that's it for now.
That's it for now. But you're just like busy lady. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day and night and come down here and being on the show.
I'm glad we could make it work out. And thank you for being persistent. You were very patient and I appreciate that. There was a lot going on.
Are you coming on now? You want to come on in August? You want to come on?
Yeah. And I was really looking forward to it because I've seen some of your episodes and I love what you're doing.
Well, I saw some of your content on LinkedIn and the posts that you put up, and I was just like, yes, that matches with what I want to bring onto the show. Like, that's great content that you talk about and that you post. It's like, yes, give you a platform to come on and share with my audience some of the cool things. One of the cool posts that you had that kind of sparked my interests recently was you post something about, it was on LinkedIn, only 7% of our communication is through words.
Yep.
I was like, what? It's like, I have a podcast. Like, tell me, what's going on?
Right. And I love the fact that you put your podcast on YouTube and it's not just an audio, but they get to see the visual and the people. And I just think that's great. But in reality, they did a study and 38% is tone and 55% is body language. So if you think about people who go to acting school, they're not just working on the lines of the script, right? They're talking about, they're working on their body language. They are working on their tonality about how they're delivering the line because it does matter. And I think one of the things that's important for us to remember about that is we get really frustrated when people aren't communicating with us, properly or in a way that makes us feel a certain way. And yet when it's reversed, we don't even know how to put the effort in for other people as we're having those conversations. And so I work a lot with people on the communication aspect. We do a DISC profile that helps a lot as well. I'm kind of throwing that in there.
Yeah, you're gonna have to explain that later on.
Yeah, later on. So, but really talking about tonality, delivery is so important.
Because you're doing like a really great job right now. If you guys aren't listening on YouTube, or if you guys aren't watching it on YouTube, if you're just listening to the audio episodes, check us out on YouTube. And if you like what you see, subscribe to the channel on YouTube. It's going to help us so much. But yeah, I can see what you're doing as far as your tone is going up and what you're emphasizing on too.
Right. So if someone's going to say, yeah, I can do that. versus, yeah, I can do that. The body language of you feel so much warmer towards the person. It creates this connection, and that's what we really need to start developing more of, isn't there?
Yeah, there's like more trust in the second one right there. Like the first one was just kind of, yeah, I'll just do it. Yeah, you want me to do it? Okay, I'll do it. The second one seemed like, yeah, I'll do it because I know why to do it, and I know that it's going to be effective, and blah blah blah. And there's a lot more to it.
And it takes some work. I mean, people have to put some effort into that. They have to be conscientious about what they're doing and how they're delivering. And I feel like for myself personally, when I used to communicate back in the day, I would be more focused on what it is that I wanted to say and what I wanted them to hear me communicate than I was about the person I was talking to. And so a big key that I'm trying to bring in here is I needed to make it about the people that I'm speaking with. And once I started to do that, I started putting the effort into making sure that they felt valued when I spoke to them, that I was listening to them, and that I made them really feel like I cared about what was going on between our connection and our communication. And that takes effort, right?
So much effort. Like as being a podcaster and a one-on-one interviewer, especially because I don't have a co-host or anything like that.
Right.
All my energy is directed into the guest. And a lot of that energy, I've been analyzing it throughout the 2 years that I've been doing this. A lot of my energy goes into thinking, listening to what the guest is saying, comprehending it, but also formulating questions at the same time of what I want, not just what I want to hear and talk about and direct the conversation, but what my audience want to hear and direct the conversation in a manner that would befit them. Because if it was just me talking to someone, I would probably go off on tangents and build a conversation in wacky directions.
Well, I did observe you in your interviews, and you are a very good listener. That's definitely something that's obvious. So you've done a great job honing that skill.
I totally try. Totally try.
You can see that.
And it's one of those things, just hammer at it. Just do it. Because I don't think it was natural. I think it was something I had to work on.
That's right. And communication is like that in general, right? I mean, you are doing that because part of this is your passion and, something that you want to do as business. But we need to put that same kind of effort in just because we care about the people we're speaking with, right? So
yeah, no, I found so much that after having this podcast, I am so much better at communicating at work with my coworkers, my superiors.
Absolutely.
And I can sit them down and listen to them and digest them, and it makes them feel heard. And even if it's something I don't agree with, I will listen to them until they are done, and then I'll formulate an answer or a comeback or some bit of advice or whatever the conversation needs at the time. But I'll let them say their piece, divulge and just blah, just let it all out. Sometimes they're venting, Sometimes it's just, that's what they need to. But I've seen so many times where one person will start saying something and the other person will take offense to that, or the other person will have a different opinion and they'll try to talk over them. And next thing you know, it's just a shouting match.
Yes. And you know what I love about what you're describing to me, if I could put it into one word, is that you have really been able to help people make a connection with people. You've been able to really connect with them, and people start talking because the reality is that people aren't listening very well. And so I believe people are starving to hear people, have people hear them. Excuse me. Yeah.
I think maybe everybody should be wearing mics and headphones. One of the reasons you wear headphones on podcasts is because you can hear yourself, but you can also hear the other person when they start talking. So you don't talk over each other.
True.
Because if it's like on a Zoom or something like that, people talk over each other because you can't really hear in time with everything that everybody else is saying.
That's so true. That's so true.
Yeah, because that's one of the things with podcasting. People always ask, like, why do you guys actually wear headphones? Do you need to wear headphones? The person's just sitting right next to you. It's like, yeah, I mean, you kind of need it. You don't absolutely have to have it, but that's the purpose. It's so that you have this kind of dialogue where one person stops talking, the other person takes on the conversation from there.
Yeah, Zoom gets a little awkward.
I hate Zooms.
Especially hours of Zoom. So that's not something that I enjoyed out of COVID.
No.
It was great at first, but yeah.
Yeah, I had some episodes on Zoom, and I didn't think they worked out really well. They were really hard to edit. And it was just, we were dealing with internet connectivity issues as well too. So there's just, I promised myself I wouldn't do any more Zoom interviews with Hawaii Real. I would just do in-person interviews here.
Yeah. Yeah. But getting back to what you're saying, I really like the fact that you've honed that skill and are able to make the connections with people. I feel like people are just really starving for some real authentic connections, and so listening and being mindful about how you communicate with your words is part of that. And so I really appreciate you setting an example and modeling. That's the other thing that I love about it, is that we don't understand how important modeling really is. We have neurons in our brain that fire as if you're the one doing it when you watch someone else act that out.
Explain.
So, well, I'm not a neuroscientist, so I just want to put that disclaimer out there. But we do have the way that our brain patterns work, and they've discovered areas of our brain that and it has to do with a study with monkeys. And so when a lab person came in and started eating the nuts out of the monkey's bowl, the monkey's brain would start firing in the same area where it would be firing if they did it themselves. And so they started to really do a deep dive on what they're calling mirror neurons, where when you watch someone model for you a pattern or behavior that is healthy or that you would like to do, and you're just watching it, your brain starts to fire off as if you're the one doing it. So I just see that as evidence of the importance of us modeling for each other, the importance of what we do as parents, and being able to take the skills that you're learning through podcasting, the listening, and you ask great questions, and be able to model that for your kids. Outstanding. And we don't understand that enough. So here we go back to the issue about, 38% is tonality, 55% is body language, and in the home is where the kids learn it. And so they watch all of that. We all watch all of that, and we imitate what we've seen because our mirror neurons were firing as if we were the one doing it. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and I always like to think of analogies. And I think one great, easy to understand analogy, and this is what I'm thinking, correct me if I'm wrong, with the mirror neurons, because I'm trying to understand it. If, say, dudes are watching a football game and they're getting really into it, and it's coming to those last few plays, 2-minute warning, that kind of thing, and they're getting out of their seats, out of the couch, and they're getting really into it. Is that what they're talking about? The mirror neurons and their brain acting like they're on the field, so to speak, or their brain is relating to that action that's going on directly?
Well, again, I'm not a neuroscientist, so I couldn't really speak accurately to that question, but I think that's a great analogy, because what I have noticed in my personal life is that people who have engaged in that type of sport in college and high school get way more involved in it.
Totally. Yeah.
So it's like that part of them that's just firing as if they're the one doing it. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I play hockey and I watch hockey, and it's just like, I get so excited. And like when a goalie makes a great save, I'm just like beside myself, because it's like, oh my God, I know how hard it is to do that. And he just did it.
Right,
it's awesome.
right. You appreciate all that work that they put in training and all of that skill.
Yeah, and then I try to get my 40-year-old butt out there to do it too. Like, no.
Street hockey, right?
We play roller at in Kapolei, the indoor rink out there. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And Ice Palace. God, Ice Palace open up already.
Yeah. Some of these places have got to start opening up, and yeah, it's really. I'm hoping they're still in business when we finally get all of that taken care of.
Well, when Ice Palace does open, hopefully they have really good ice. They haven't been skated on in like a year and a half.
Yeah.
So mastery of leadership?
Leading with mastery.
Leading with mastery. Sorry, I have my notes here. So what necessarily do you do with that?
So Leading with Mastery is my company where I should be able to say that quickly. There is a lot that I do. So one of the main things that I'm focusing on that I really love are masterminds right now. And the reason why I love the mastermind is because I create a synergy of people that are like-minded in growth, changing their mindsets. So you have a cohort, if you will, that gives you accountability, encouragement, empowerment to be able to do that.
You guys call that mastermind?
You call it a mastermind because you're masterminding. It's your mind combining with other people's minds. And then you have this something called like a third mind, where this synergy of creativity, ideas, inspiration starts to come out of it because you're all like-minded going towards the same direction. And so most of my masterminds are on leadership principles, and we'll focus on like a hyper focus or a deep dive on a subject matter. So it's subject specific. And then what happens is I'll do a one-on-one coaching in that process with those that are in the mastermind. And that's where we do a deep dive on certain things that are maybe hindering them, particularly in their life, being able to get past hurdles or obstacles that are keeping them from their goals, their objectives, confidence level. And that's where you really see everything just really explode. It's like nitrous gas in the process of that person's growth. And the results have been amazing. So that's a lot of what you'll see on my website. I do one-on-one coaching as well. And I do love that. I just see acceleration in people's growth through this mastermind coaching process.
Is it because they are with other people?
It's that, and I'm very intentional about how I create the community. I think that makes a big difference. And I encourage them to come to the table ready to play full out so that they're adding value to the people in that mastermind, rather than that habitual pattern that we have where you're coming to a course or a class and what am I going to get out of it? Give me the information. It's not the best way to create the right synergy for this. So
or some people come in there with, I don't want to be here. Why am I here?
Well, most of the people that sign up, they're there for a reason. Like they want to be there for a reason. So yeah.
Not in the city and county. City and county, going to these classes and people are just like,
I can't help you with that. I know. Yeah.
Don't granted, some of the classes are great and you learn a lot. Some of the classes are just garbage. Sorry.
Well, I can tell you that I have one of my clients, he is supervisor, top leader of over several hundred people. I don't know if you want to put this on there, but and the majority of his workers are union workers. Mm-hmm. And that is the one thing that he's been working with me on, is the frustration of that, right? Now, he's not a union worker. But watching the way that he's been able to transform the thing that we were just talking about, which is communication, mm-hmm. because that has been the hardest thing for him. So he comes in and dealing with a particular culture, if you will, that is pretty structured in the thinking. And how does he lead that? He's got several hundred men under him. And so just working that through with him and having him see the breakthroughs has been really powerful. So it is possible to make an influence in that culture, is what I'm saying.
It's hard, especially with union workers. I mean, I'm in the union. Let's be honest. And yeah, Hawaii itself as a culture, a society here, we're not akin to change very often, very quickly.
You are right.
You put that with union workers, and it's like it drags it down even more, right? It's like, oh, geez, guys. Unless it's for the better, and they can see like it's for the better. So I think it's part of communicating to anybody here that the change is for the better. And that's where the communication comes in. Mm-hmm, like, mm-hmm. Hey, you guys want to change and build a rail? Well, communicate with us. That's why it's so good. And then,
that is so crucial in, union, government. It's the communication, isn't it? And that's the one thing that people are more frustrated about, I think.
Right, because I want to see and I want to mm-hmm. hear the why mm-hmm. behind mm-hmm. all the things that affect me, mm-hmm. all the policies, procedures, laws, whatever, mm-hmm. especially, the government mandates and stuff now. It's like, I want to see the why behind it. Mm-hmm. Don't mean to get too bad, but if other places aren't doing it, why are we doing it?
I know.
If you want to be a guest on a future episode of Hawaii Real, hit me up at the email, hawaiirealpodcast@gmail.com. You can also find me at hawaiirealpodcast.com. And I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok too, Hawaii Real Podcast. Find us and give us a shout out. All right. So one of the new things I wanted to bring on to Hawaii Real is a lightning round.
So this is new just for me?
Just for you. I think I'll throw it into the rest of my episodes too, because I think it's cool. So Leila, I showed you a couple of the questions. You saw a little bit of them. So I'll just throw them out and just blurt off your answers. Ready?
I'm ready.
All right. What high school?
Lahaina Luna.
Oh.
Lahaina Luna. Oldest school west of the Rockies.
Maui girl.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Lots of history there.
So I guess that comes in the second question, neighborhood.
Lahaina.
Lahaina, duh. Hey, I just wrote the questions. It's there. All right, what's your nickname?
Lei.
Lei, that's easy.
It gets people confused, right? Because Leilani. Yeah, no. Lei.
Well, what's their full name? Leilani?
Leila.
Oh,
Just
okay.
Leila. And it's Middle Eastern, and only my family calls me Lei. Actually, my in-laws call me Lei.
So Leila's Middle Eastern.
Yes.
From where? Persia?
I
Is
don't
your
know.
family Middle Eastern?
No. My mother said she just saw it in a book and liked it and named me that. And a couple of times I've been through the airports. I love to travel.
Mm-hmm.
I travel all over the world. I think everybody should. It really expands, your horizons and your perspective on things. But at any rate, it's been in airports that security have said, Leila, that means bright light, So, and they'll tell me it's Persian, it's this, it's that. But it's kind of like your name. It's kind of gone through all these different nationalities, right?
Yeah, because I've heard Leila before. I can't put it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's Hawaiian though, unless it's, no. Yeah, anyways. Yeah, it's like my name we were talking about earlier off camera. Ioane is not necessarily Hawaiian. It's not Polynesian. It's Greek.
Mm-hmm. Which I was shocked.
Sorry, Hawaiians. It's not Hawaiian. Sorry. Favorite day of the week?
Favorite day of the week? Saturday. I like Saturday.
Is it because it's the first day of the week?
No, it's because it's my catch-up day. Is that pathetic?
No.
I work so hard because I've got 2 major entities that I'm running, but I'm in the season of my life that I can do that because my baby has gone to college. I've got time, right? So I am so busy Monday through Friday. I cannot get through all of my work. I love Saturdays because I can work at leisure, but still get things done and I catch up. I know that just sounds really weird, but
the life of the entrepreneur.
That is exactly right. It's
like,
you,
when's
baby,
your
and all
favorite day?
you.
When I go to bed. That's my.
That's true. That's true.
But
we love it. Entrepreneurs love it.
Yeah.
I mean,
otherwise you're not going to be an entrepreneur if you don't love that grind.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the keys.
And you're doing it either for your vision, your goal, your dream, or you're doing it because you're making an impact. And every day I'm tired. At 9:00, I just can barely keep my eyes open, but I would not want to do anything else. I love it.
Well, that's one of my other questions. Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
You said you're up early at like 4 a.m. or something.
Usually 5, but
crazy
sometimes it's 4 because I have a lot of correspondence with the East Coast as well.
Oh, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So sometimes I'm up at 3. Now that is hard, but I could do 4. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Shave ice or ice cream?
Ice cream. Oh,
Flavor?
Anything with chocolate.
Nice.
Yes.
That's a wide variety.
Am I allowed to do a plug on this thing? I don't even know the owner, but I love this sorbet place in Kaimoki. I forgot the name of the place. It's like by Koa Pancake House. Have you ever gone there?
I've been to Koa Pancake House in Kaimoki.
Right across the street. And they actually have the closest to the authentic Italian sorbet that you're going to find.
Is it like the one in Kahala Mall? There's one in there.
I've not tried the one.
Io Gelato or something like that?
No, I like the one in Kaimoki.
Okay,
because, I love the community and it's keep Kaimoki,
Mm-hmm. That's, yeah, I guess so, yeah. Your favorite local food item?
I love all local food.
Which one stands out? Which one do you have to have at like a local food gathering?
Okay, well, I don't even know if this is local because it's more ethnic, right? Okay, so when I'm thinking local food, I'm thinking like, okay, poke or whatever, but I just like Korean food if I had to go. But I'm really a health eater. I eat salads, I eat vegetable, all that stuff. So when I get that urge to have like some, food that I'm going to go out and get, it's going to be Korean. Love Korean food.
What kind of Korean food though?
Any kind of Korean food. Not spicy. Don't like spicy. Can't handle it. But I love Korean food. Anything. Bulgogi.
I love Korean food. I love meatjun.
I love meatjun.
Growing up, I always thought that was Korean, but apparently it's not Korean. They like made it here. Oh. And you can't even Korean restaurants in the mainland. This was back in the day, back in the 90s and stuff. Like you couldn't get meatjun in mainland Korean restaurants. It was like a Hawaii thing. It was weird.
That's true. That's true. Have you been to Korea before?
No. Closest is Japan.
Okay, so in Korea, okay, of course the food's better wherever that country is, but they put their one of the Korean restaurants on Keomoku Street, but they put their kalbi in lettuce, and then you put the kimchi on it and everything. Oh my gosh, it's so
that
good.
sounds good.
Yeah, you got to go. Sorbo. See, this interview, I'm going to send you to all these restaurants.
Okay. There's a local one here that does that too?
Yep. On
Cool.
Keomoku Sorobos, I think it's called.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. So
I know where it is.
you have to order the lettuce separately though. It's not just automatically to the dish. You just have to, but it's on the menu. You can order it.
Interesting.
But that's an authentic Korean kalbi way to eat it.
Speaking of like lettuce on those kinds of food, Japanese tonkatsu, they have it on a bed of lettuce, but then they also give you a ton of lettuce, and you just put the sauce on top of the lettuce, eat the lettuce with the sauce. I was like, wow, this is actually super good.
The tonkatsu in Japan is amazing.
Oh, it was delicious. Funny thing with Japan, I don't know if how many times have you been to Japan?
Maybe twice, 3 times. I don't know.
So in the restaurants over in Japan, you order water, they give you like these tiny glass of water. I'm like, dude, I need water. It's like, I had this big meal to eat, and you give me like this tiny glass. Refill, please. I didn't understand that, but then somebody told me otherwise. It was like, no, they want you to buy a drink. They don't want to give you free water. They want you to buy a beer or a soda or something. Like, oh man, can I just buy a big bottle of water? How about that?
I was in Thailand once, and I was looking for lunch. I was so hungry walking around, and they sat down. He said, "Do you want water? Do you want water?" I'm like, "Yeah, take." They're just pouring the water. Well, it was $5, or I don't remember. $5 American, which was, I don't know how many bahts in Thailand, but they were like, I had no idea we had to pay for the water.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Since, they don't necessarily have clean water. So yeah, I know
everything's
why,
bottled, right?
Jeez Louise. Yeah.
That's why I love traveling, because you just learn all these little differences with the way that, different parts of the world.
Well, yeah, just having clean water. Like that's an American thing.
Yeah.
Most places don't necessarily naturally have clean water. Hey, Hawaiian Springs water, if you don't know, is bottled right from the source. Like they take it out of the mountain. They don't really do much to it. They just put it in the bottle because it's filtered from the volcano.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I saw they had like this video on it.
And I love the
wow,
pH is
cool.
7.7. That's good for you.
Yeah, it's just a hair above alkaline, which is really cool. But most places in the world, like in third world countries and stuff, fresh water is sacred, and you have to, walk miles or whatever to get it. And here in America, what do we do with fresh water? It's in our toilet. Like we're crapping in our fresh water that these other countries don't have. Like, God, Americans are spoiled.
Yeah, I'm gonna not touch that one either, but
it's true.
I agree.
What's your favorite beach?
Oh gosh. Okay, I don't go to the beach anymore. When I was a kid, oh my gosh, we just go out there every weekend after school on the weekends and just fry. And Kaanapali Beach, that was where we went, right? So if I had to pick one, I think I'd pick Kaanapali Beach only because it reminds me of my childhood, but yeah. I grew up in a tourist town, right? So sorry.
Yeah, growing up as a little kid here, we used to go to Bellows.
Oh yeah,
when we did live here,
Portuguese Man of War. I had a
all
hard
over
time
the
with
place.
that. Oh my
that's
gosh,
that's half the fun. You got to avoid those things.
That's half the fun.
Yeah, I got a bad sting on the back of my knee maybe about 2 months ago. Ugh, itchy, itchy knee. that wasn't a joke. That was serious. I actually did. That actually happened. If you were a superhero, what kind of superpowers would you have?
I think if I were a superhero, I'd like to have mind reading powers. I know, spooky, right? Because you could hear what people are thinking, but I think it cuts through the chase. I'm kind of a direct. My natural tendency is to just be very direct. Let's just cut to the chase. Let's just, get down to I don't get offended easily. And I like that type of conversation, but I've learned over the years that it doesn't really work well in our Hawaii culture. So tapered that back a lot. And I've been a disruptor in my childhood because of that, actually. So I would like to have mind reading powers so we could just cut straight to the chase. I want to know exactly what's going on. Let's deal with it.
I love it. That's
why I'm a leadership coach, right?
Yeah.
Let's just deal with that. And we get results because we can actually deal with stuff.
Mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
my half brother, I had him on the show, and actually he had teased me when we first met about calling me Mastermind because of my forehead, the cartoon. Yeah.
I remember you saying that on the phone, and I forgot to look that up. I am going to look that up. I didn't know there was a cartoon character.
It's me. It's just blue. It's just blue skin. So you said you eat healthy and everything. You don't have a favorite junk food?
Okay, I do like homemade cookies.
Oh, yes.
I love homemade cookies. My sister makes some of the best cookies. My girlfriend makes great cookies. Christmas time is killer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because I try not to eat a lot of sugar, when I eat the sugar, I don't feel good. But I love it.
That's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's totally a thing.
That
it
is
happens.
a thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've noticed that because I fast and everything every now and then. And I usually don't eat a whole lot of sugar, but when I do, I think, was it the other day? If you're at work, if you're one of my coworkers, you go ahead and stop listening now. Somebody brought poi donuts.
Oh.
It was their last day.
Oh.
Had 4.
So good. Oh my gosh.
Might have been 5.
Oh my gosh.
I felt so bad. I mean, I felt bad for eating them all, but I kept walking by them and they're still there. So I was like, there's a huge box. So I can't let these go to waste.
And they're calling your name.
Calling my name. It's like everybody has had several hours to walk by these and grab some.
Mm-hmm. I have to say, I do also like, talking about sugar, I do also like mochi donuts.
Oh, yeah. I love malasadas. I think that's my hook.
Do you want another plug on who's got really good malasadas?
The Punahou Carnival.
Okay, yes, that.
Those are killer.
Those are good. Mm-hmm.
What's your go-to malasada?
Pipeline Bakery, Kaimuki. Keep Kaimuki.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Right on Waialae.
Have I had those?
Oh, you've got to go.
I must try.
You have to take your kids.
Oh, we shall.
Nice and crispy on the outside, and then it's just great. The inside is perfect.
Are they circular?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the Punahou Carnival ones, and I think the reason they're so good is because they're not circular. They're kind of clumpy and misshapen and stuff because they have all different parents and kids making them, and they just kind of throw them in the fryer. But what it does is it doesn't have a consistent crustiness to it.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain crusty parts and there's certain soft parts to it.
Mm-hmm. So you like the variety.
Yeah, and then the sugar gets all caught inside all those little cracks and crevices. It's genius.
Yeah, it's genius.
It's genius.
Go down to Punahou Carnival, February. Get some malasadas.
It'll probably be raining. Okay, so I had this on here, but you also said
I have an itchy nose. Sorry.
Is your knee? How's your knee? Itchy knee's good. So your TV show. Do you watch any? You said you didn't watch TV shows, but you just Netflix and stuff. So what's a good one?
Once in a while, like when I'm just really okay. So anybody who understands when you get to that place where you're working so hard that you just go through brain atrophy and you just want to do the nothing box.
Yep.
So when I get to that point, I might turn on Netflix and then I'll get hooked on a series or something. But for the most part, I try to stay away from media altogether, like in just terms of even just surfing through social media or news. I don't watch television or anything because I feel like it kind of really affects the mindset. So I keep my mind sharp as a tack.
It totally does. And I think that's another part of the entrepreneur thing is like sometimes we just don't have time anymore to sit there and watch television.
I don't have time to go through my Facebook or my LinkedIn, although I'd love to because I love connecting with people on there, but you just don't have time. Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I got you finally.
Well, you were persistent. And I appreciated that.
Do you believe in aliens?
The jury's out on that for me.
Okay.
I don't know. It's an interesting topic though. And I notice there's more and more movies. I don't know if there's kind of like a suggestive side that,
I heard one.
I do believe in superheroes. Does that count?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. I won't take it personally. So remember I told you I don't get offended.
Okay, good. Me neither. I just take that as fact. Okay.
Yeah.
I heard an interesting theory that talked about why do movie makers or humans in general, when they're talking about making alien movies, they're always talking about the aliens coming down and like taking over the planet, destroying the planet, colonizing, killing people, blah, 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 destroying stuff, getting rid of humanity, what have you. Is it because that's what humans would do?
Oh, dang. That's a good question.
Yeah, it's like,
no,
it's a mirror.
I'm going to say no to humans, like normal, everyday, average people. I would say those
but we did.
In government might.
Maybe. Because like the jury's out because when the Europeans colonized the New World, that happened. Whether we wanted it to happen or not.
But who were they being given the mandate by?
Yeah, they're kings and queens and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely. Search for gold.
Because if you look at human nature, people want to live in peace. That's the other reason why I love traveling, because you find out about the people. And what I've noticed on television about a particular region, it's nothing like the people. What you're hearing on the news, when you get there, that is not how the people view things or want things. And so that's another reason why I love to travel. I mean, I love people and we're all the same. You know, we want peace. We want to live with our families. We want our kids to be successful. You know, we all want the same things, no matter you're in Greece, where your name came from, or Japan, or, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we want to grow old and have good food to eat.
Be healthy.
Talk and laugh, have fun.
And the older you get, the more you realize it's all about relationship.
Yeah.
That's why you're so good at connecting. You'll have lots of relationships when you're old.
No, it's because LinkedIn. Star Wars fan? Not really.
No, but my children are, so I support it.
Chewbacca or Han Solo? You got to pick one.
I don't even know which one is.
Okay. How about this one? Luke or Leia?
You better not put this on air, because this is one of the hottest things right now. And I'm just so...
I like it to send it to your son. It's like, what is going on here?
I'm all about people, not Chewbacca or Han Solo.
I'm going to make the argument he's more human than humans.
Not gonna, yeah. Well, that could be something you could make another episode of, but I'm not the guest for that one.
Okay. Say something in British.
My accents suck. Okay. Cheerio.
That's a good one.
Is that British? I don't know.
Yeah.
I know a swear word in British, you know, yeah.
Go.
Isn't bugger a swear word? And yes, it is. It is.
Oh, yeah. They got a lot of weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
Off the wall. Well, I mean, it's normal for them. It's weird for us. I like bloody hell. And bollocks. That's Scottish something. I don't know. Scottish is funny.
So I love to travel. I'm here talking about the travel again, right? I have a cohort of girlfriends. We love to travel. And I am the worst of our group with accents or learning another language. I have a girlfriend. She's so amazing. And she can learn a language like that. So we were in Russia. I was with one of my girlfriends in Russia. And we had an amazing tour guide. And she was taking us around the Russian palace. You know, the Russian czars. It was Peter the Great's daughters built this huge palace, very opulent, on the backs of the servants, right? And she kept saying the seal is. Oh, shall I stop talking about this?
No, keep going.
I'm going off on a tangent. We don't even have to do this.
Russians.
Yeah.
Seal.
So she kept saying the seal is the double-deaded eagle. I'm thinking, what is she talking about? The double-deaded eagle. And I'm thinking, what? And it's, anyway, you know what? Now I'm saying this. This is just an inside joke. It's not even worth it.
Okay.
I was so clueless. But anyways, we were just cracking up in bed all night long because she had to interpret for me the accents. Yeah, it kind of flopped on the end, but.
We are welcoming audience members. We have room for up to 4 people with COVID restrictions. Again, shoot me out an email, hawaiirealpodcast@gmail.com. Have you ever been to Delaware?
No.
Okay, because I don't know anybody who's been to Delaware. Okay, toilet paper, over or under?
Over. Anybody does it under, I don't know. They should be looked at.
Yeah, I don't know what you're thinking when it's under. It's like clearly wrong. Clearly. Okay, so finish this song lyric. Stumbling away, slowly learning that life is okay. Say after me.
Life happens for me.
It's no better to be safe than sorry.
Don't put that on the air.
Me.
I don't even know the lyrics to that.
Oh, jeez. That's like okay.
Yeah, I'm boring, you know. I just work.
You're not boring. Okay. So you have your nonprofit. And we haven't even touched on that really much. So one of the aspects is literacy for preschool kids.
Mm-hmm.
Big topic here in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you want to dive into your nonprofit and why you started it and how it's going?
Yeah, I started the nonprofit because of a friend of mine who's a principal in a Title I school, or and I could see that the literacy scores were really an issue, and that is prevalent across Hawaii, like you just stated. The DOE has done a very good job and has gotten a lot of federal funding to be able to ramp up intervention, preemptive work with children, but the need is so great that even if every entity, whether DOE or nonprofit, were able to function at their optimal, I don't think we would be able to serve every single child yet. But I believe that that's possible if everybody gets involved in some way or another. But, the statistics are really surprising that if a child is not reading at their grade level by third grade, then their chances of dropping out of high school increases by 4 times.
Wow.
Yeah. And then
Did not know that.
the social services aspect, when they're a dropout, early pregnancy, unwed mothers in pregnancy, welfare, incarceration. 70% of people incarcerated, as the statistics show, are low literacy. So it really is, I think, a community issue, but nobody really talks about that. It's kind of not, interesting for a lot of people. But if you can intervene early, like in preschool, and get them the foundation that a child needs, you are setting them up for success. All they have to do is be able to fare well, and they have chances to be able to go to community college, or UH here or something to that effect. So the need is just really great. And so we service families who are about 70% of our families are low income, and they can't afford preschool here. The average cost of preschool is about $1,500 a month.
Right.
I mean, and then you're trying to pay rent, right? So, and we love our families. They're so thankful. And we have great staff. They're all either currently part-time teachers in the DOE or they are retired, excellent DOE people. We have experts that have handpicked the curriculum that's research back to really help these children increase their literacy. So last year we launched, and it was the height of COVID. We were going to go live, and in 3 weeks we had to change everything and do it virtually on Zoom. And so it's kind of hard to keep a 3-year-old's attention span on Zoom.
Right.
So we really had 30 minutes a week. 30 minutes a session twice a week with them. So 1 hour total. They all came in with low literacy. And by the end of the year, we were able to bring 80% of those children up to average literacy.
Wow, that's awesome.
Our numbers are fantastic because our staff is amazing. Our curriculum is stellar. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better team.
Now, is it also included with, does the curriculum include helping the parents get the kids to read also at home?
Yes. So we are a parent participation program. Thanks for asking that, because that's so vital. And I remember when I had a preschooler and I didn't take him to preschool, and I needed to help him, and I needed some help. So I didn't really know what I was doing with my first one. I could have used help then. So, it is a parent participation. So they sit in the classroom. Now we're live. We are working with community partners in the area, and the parent is able to learn how to work with their child in between the days we meet with them. Now we're meeting with them for an hour and a half. It's highly interactive, high pace. The kids are engaged, and the parents are so thankful to have some place to take their kids. They can't get into Head Start. They don't have another option.
Do the parents ever, or do you guys even question the parents on why or what the big barrier or the big struggle is to get their children to read?
Well, now we're kind of talking about the demographics, right? And we do what we were taught, right? And so a lot of the parents don't actually read themselves. It's not that they can't read, maybe some of them can't, but it's not a priority, right? So they're not seeing the importance of reading to your children. A child whose parents are college educated are exposed to about 3 to 5 new words a day exposure. And if a child comes from a family whose parents are not college educated, it's half a word. By the time a child enters kindergarten, they have like millions of word exposure if they are from a college educated household. And so it's so vital. The constant exposure, the reading, like you say, is so critical. And so we don't really, to your question, we don't really ask the parent that question, but what we do is we incentivize the reading. And we help the parents see how easy it is. So we understand they're stressed. They're trying to make things work for themselves, right? So we really come alongside them, and we just really help them the best that we can to see the importance of reading to their children. So,
how has technology helped you guys? Do you guys just deliver books or anything like that to help these kids start reading? Or is it now taking on a technological thing with e-readers and stuff like that?
So we do have resources on our website where people can go and they'll have an e-reader there that they can put with, help as far as getting their children to listen to someone read a book. And so we do have those sorts of resources, but we do encourage the parent reading the book to their child. So we are our first year live. So we are still setting up an at-home reading program because we're still acclimating to being live and all the different things about that. So one of our plans in the program is to be able to incentivize the children, put them on the Instagram account, give them a prize for reading a book, and really just try to make it a fun experience for them to read, and so that they'll be begging mom or older sibling to read to them. So.
Oh, they're like video games or stuff. Because my kids have had apps and stuff like that where the teaches them math and stuff like that, and it incentivizes them to play this math game. Is there stuff like that for reading?
There are things like that, but not in our program. I think earlier we were talking about the importance of connection. And there's something to be said about people reading to us. And then the questions, right? So where did he go? And, place and setting and colors and where is he right now in this picture? And what was he doing? And just having that interaction that just can't be replaced.
Right, because that's now a whole more experience around it, around the book.
Yeah. Exactly.
Gets their imagination involved, gets the parents involved. Yeah, because reading, we read to our kids from a very, very early age and try to get them reading from a very early age. And I think... my older son kind of struggled with reading and putting all the letters and everything together for a while. But once he figured it out, it was like code. Once he figured out the code, oh, dude, he was just reading books and reading books and reading books. And then he found the books that he liked to read, the content he wanted to read. Oh, yeah, he took off. His reading just accelerated.
That's so fabulous.
Really, really rapidly.
That's so fabulous. There's nothing that can replace reading.
Yeah. No, there's nothing.
In terms of learning, the brain wiring, all of that. It's just so vital, and I'll confess I do audiobooks because I don't have time. So I play the audiobook and, there's just so much content, even if you could do it by audio, but even just reading it, you process it completely differently, So, I'm an advocate for reading the actual book.
Very cool.
And the nice thing about our program is that when the children come into our program, we have experts that are able to see immediately they're developmentally delayed or not, and place them with the right people in the school that they'll be entering to get them assessed, get them in a full-time program where they're going to get specialized help. Because again, the DOE is excellent in they've just really stepped up their game in that area. So we're able to do intervention in terms of being able to get these children who are really struggling the help they need. So we started off with a full 3 classrooms, and now we've got some openings. So if you know anybody who'd like to either send a grandchild, 3 and 4-year-olds, we take them both.
What does the nonprofit look for? Or what do you guys need from the community or from do you guys get grants or anything from the government? So
because we are a startup, we have been applying for grants and we've been rejected because we didn't have the track record. We were just forming. So most of the grants do not go for startups. And, 80% of nonprofits fail. But you have to run a nonprofit like a business, and most people don't. They've got a great heart.
So you got to fundraise.
You have to fundraise, but you have to know where to spend your money. Right. And how to be able to get the in-kind help from experts. That's what we've been able to get, just people with expertise, skills in this area specifically. Our volunteers are speech pathologists that work for the DOE, but they come in. So we just really have a great staff. So at any rate, for a nonprofit to work, you really have to run it like a business. And so, what was the question again? I got off track.
No, like what are you guys looking for from the community as far as help or from the government or anything like that to get this nonprofit going and doing these kinds of things continually?
Well, like every nonprofit, we're in great need. So we do need donations. They can go to our Instagram on Building Blocks Hawaii. That's the name of our literacy program, Building Blocks Hawaii. And Impact Change Hawaii is also available. If you go to our website on either of those names, there's a donation button. We absolutely need donations. And I'm in kind in my donations as a executive director for the program and program manager. There's a lot of other people that are in-kind donations, but all the money goes right now to our staff, our excellent, amazing staff that are just desiring to help the kids. So the other thing is that we do need volunteers, but they'll be vetted, right, to be able to come around the kids. And we do need some help in administration. So. Yeah,
no, that's completely amazing. The people that you get to do that kind of work, because they're doing it completely unselfishly for the benefit of not just the kids, but they're benefiting the parents too. And you're going to be benefiting the kids on a lifelong thing, like learning to read and getting confident reading, life-changing, like you said.
What's really great is that we can see the thankfulness in the families.
Good.
They're really thankful, and they have no problem sitting there working with their child for an hour and a half. They're taking pictures and, so yeah, follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, it's like you guys are the team backing the parents to get them motivated and help them figure out what they need to do for their kids. Because I guess, like you said, a lot of these parents didn't grow up in that household where they were taught to read and had their parents reading to them. So
yeah,
that's so important.
And it's a completely free program.
Cool.
And so because other people in the DOE are finding out about what we're doing, the successes we're having, they're starting to donate stuff to help us out, like, things that they have in their classroom that they know would benefit the program, and they'll bring it our way. And
because I hope they can see that if they help your program and help these kids in preschool, they're going to have a much easier job when that kid is in ninth grade, 8th grade, when he's maybe been making trouble or whatnot. He'll maybe make a much better student for the next 12 years.
Truth be told, they want programs like this.
Right. You're catching the kids young. Yeah. So, I think that's so valuable. Definitely a good investment.
Yeah. So like I said, we have some registrations open. We have open enrollment because we place these families in a program that's actually going to help them more if their child needs more specialized help, or maybe a family was on a wait list for Head Start and they got into Head Start. So there's always little openings that happen here or there. So anybody who's got a 3 or 4-year-old, we'd love to have them.
Do you guys have like geographic locations and everything?
So because we're a new program, we are currently located in the Kipapa community of Mililani. A very forgotten area of Mililani, honestly.
Is that Lower Mililani? Is that what it's called? Yeah, Kipapa Gulch by the basketball courts.
Yeah, yeah. And it's interesting to see, because people say, why are you starting it in Mililani? Oh, really? I want to hear it.
No, my brother-in-law didn't. I made the comment that it was, there was like a bad neighborhood in Mililani, and he was like, "What?" No, I was like, "Yeah, there's like an old Mililani, old part of Mililani." It was terrible. I was being funny.
Okay. Yeah. So people ask me, why are you starting it in Mililani? There's a lot of places in need, right?
Yeah.
But I think part of it is that there are communities that are hidden because the area around them may feel a little more middle class or upper middle class. And they're forgotten. This part of Mililani cannot even be a part of the Mililani Association.
Right, because the homes and everything all look like their own individual homes. Whereas the rest of Mililani has a lot of rules and structure. I know. You live in Mililani.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm in your backyard.
Nice.
Come on over when you're not like at your police desk and, volunteer for 2.5 hours.
You guys read to kids? Or you guys teaching other parents to read to kids?
We do read to our kids, but in the process, we're teaching the parent how to do it. I mean, we are just empowering the parent to continue educating that child because we only have 2 days a week with them. And the children who are able to get their literacy scores up, the 80% of those kids that got it up to average literacy, it's because their parents got involved. And we just really advocate for their involvement.
So is it money or is it volunteers that you need more? Which one do you need more?
Well, money, I'll say. Let me rephrase that. Okay. Well, a financial donation is highly encouraged.
Sure. No, I'm just thinking like they have community service for people that get like DUIs and stuff like that. Hey, go.
Yeah, we do have a vetting process.
Yeah, definitely. It's just community service.
Yeah. So thanks for asking about that.
Be definitely cool. We used to do read-alongs and over at KPT, we used to go play Scrabble.
Oh, really?
As officers. Yeah, we used to go to the community center and they would have Scrabble tournaments and they bring out all their kids and have little Scrabble tournaments.
So good. That's so good.
They would spill some funny words though. It's like, dude, KPT is not a word. Yeah, you can't use that in Scrabble. Sorry.
Oh, come on. You got to let them go a little bit.
Oh, they would just get some funny words.
What age were they?
Probably third grade and up through high school. And some of the high schoolers are really great. Like they were really competing at Scrabble. They were really good. Could definitely go off to college. They were at that level, no problem.
Yeah.
But like some of the little kids would spell like USO. It's like uso. That's a word, right? It's like I'll allow it.
Yeah.
We are in KPT, so
I love the fact that you're going out. You had done that in the past, and I getting to know you a little bit more. I know that your heart is about being about four people, and I think that's part of what drives me in this doing the nonprofit, and even in leadership coaching, is that I grew up not having somebody around to help me, and just literally, because we moved around so much, you can't really make those connections. And so that's where my heart goes out at this stage of my life. It's about helping to make sure that another child isn't forgotten, because I fell through the cracks. I was probably the worst student in Hawaii when I finally settled in one place. And here I am. I keep saying that's the joke. And here I am running a literacy program, but it's about helping someone else not experience what you experienced, right? Same thing with leadership coaching, not having mentorship. I remember walking on UH campus. I took the 5.5-year track because I kept thinking, well, if I learn more information, I might have some direction, and it's not having somebody be able to say, hey, consider this or point me this way or take enough time to care about the fact that I felt aimless. And I never want somebody to feel like they have to go through life alone without any kind of help. And so that's why I have these two branches to really just help to strengthen leadership in Hawaii. And the earlier we get that child, the earlier we get that individual, the better it is.
Yep.
So that is the big picture here.
Any last words? It's been great having you on, Leila.
Well, thank you so much, like I said, for your persistence. I'm really glad to be here. And I really, see success for this program. I think more and more people are going to be tuning in and should be tuning in. It's a great program. And more than that, he's got a great heart.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for taking the time out of your night again. Come on.
Yeah, loved it. Thank you.
Everybody, Leila Fujinaka. And as always, stay happy, Hawaii.
Yeah.
You got to throw your shakas.